What's up, big dog?
Man, hard out here, brother. Last month was killer. Big month, lots of sales. This month, man, it's like I can't close my way out of a paper bag.
Man, you following up with people?
I mean, I'm hitting them up a couple times.
What are they? What's the resistance?
Man, you know, I think the biggest thing right now is people are just, they're not seeing it in themselves, and they're just not believing that we can help them the way that I know we can help them. I mean, I've seen it, right? And I'm trying to show these guys that we can help them, but I just don't think they're seeing it.
You know, when you work for an organization like ours, and we see guys and women that are on one end of the spectrum that are making millions of dollars, right? And then we see this person that's brand new that comes in and they're worried about making their first investment into something like this, right? They see these people that are brand new that come in, and we see the same, you and I see the same potential in them. We're like, oh, this could be our next $1 million guy, right? But you and I also know that they got so many roadblocks to get over that if you're telling them, here's how you make $1 million, they've been hearing that shit their whole life and it ain't worked out yet, you know? And so this is one thing to think about, but the other is, if I was to guess, you as a salesperson are causing this on yourself. And so what I mean is, you know, oftentimes we try to look for some outside reason why shit isn't working. You say, man, I'm following up with people. Man, I'm trying to do this, like something's not right, right? Your Venus is not lining up with Uranus or whatever, right? Like, you know, that we try to basically tell ourselves. But the truth is, I know you had a great month last month, and congratulations, I appreciate that, you know. But what typically happens to salespeople in your position, because I've taught you, hey man, don't go out and get a bunch of debt. You know, you're not pulling up here in a Lamborghini. You're not living in a $10 million mansion, right? Like, you're diligently putting your money back and handling your business like you're supposed to. So subconsciously, you wake up in the morning and you're like, man, you know, I got a little safety net, a little blanket, you know? And what happens is you come in here and you're not forced to sell the way that you were 2 months ago when you'd have fucking 2 pennies in your bank account left over after you paid all your bills, right? When you were buying out your debt when you first started working here. You know, now you got a little bit left over, and so you wake up and you're like, I don't have to push as hard as I want, right? And we make these little mistakes where, like, instead of going home at 6 or 7 like we used to, we go home at 4 or 5, right? It's, oh, what's an hour gonna matter, right? But like 5 days a week, that's like, you know, 5-10 hours that we miss out on a work week. It's a whole entire day's worth of work that we're missing out on every week. And I'm not saying that you're doing that, but what I am saying is these are the tendencies that we have to catch ourselves with as salespeople. So the first thing that you need to do, and we're going to talk about the sales portion of this in a second, but the first thing that you need to do, and I've been saying this for forever, is when you have a good month like you had last month, and even when you have a shitty month, this is the great thing about what I'm about to say, is it works even more when you have a shitty month because it's so much more painful, right? But you go shopping, okay? But we don't go shopping for, you know, you can go get these, obviously, you know, buy as many FYE hoodies, you know, shameless plug, but don't go shopping for clothes or cars. Go shopping for assets, you know. Yesterday was a shopping day for me, and I bought $50,000 in electricity futures, okay? $50,000 to me is probably, you know, $5,000, $500 to you, right? Somewhere in there. So nothing's to say that on Friday when you get your check, and see, because here's what happens to me. I wake up, I check my bank account, I'm like, oh shit, millions of dollars. That's what I'm talking about. I will be a lazy bum, right? And I won't worry. It's like, oh, fuck that dude. He ain't worth selling anyway, right? Like, that's like the mentality for a lot of us salespeople that come on. It's like, I got money, fuck, I ain't got, until we get to where we don't have money anymore, and then we panic and try to make shit happen, right? And the good news is you're in here ahead of time. So I'm gonna help you with these roadblocks ahead of time before you were out of this money, since you just had a good month. And we're only like a week into the next month anyway, right? Which is a whole nother lesson itself I'll share with you. But the bigger picture here is keeping yourself broke, right? To where you don't wake up and feel comfortable. You wake up and you're like, shit, I got no choice but to make money today. It's not comfortable for me to spend 50 grand a week, you know, on top of the other 50 this week that I put into the stock market as well. And I've been doing this for forever. I started off with $500 a week, right? And I've just grown it from there. But I know that if I have money sitting around in my bank account, first of all, it's useless. The fuck is it doing? I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, I have money. It's so sexy. It's like, oh, there's numbers on a screen. It's like, yeah, put the shit to work. It's a good employee, you know? And so every time when you got your hands on it, pay your bills. The rest of it needs to go into an investment that's going to make you money long term that you really can't touch, so that you stay broke and hungry and you keep putting money in there, you know? The next thing, though, is, and this is weird how this works psychologically, but we have the tendency as salespeople to, like, when we have a good month, we tend to back off because we don't need it as much. You know what I mean? Like, we have a good month. Like, we watch real estate agents. They're a good example, you know, because when you close a real estate deal, you get a big ass commission check. Sometimes it's $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, you know. And for 2-3 months, and they get a big, you know, $10,000 check. They're like, oh yeah, I'm making 10 grand a month, even though they made it like 2 months ago. And then they don't really do anything because they see they got $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 left in their bank account. When that bank account starts to get in them triple digits, $500, $600, you know what I mean? They panic and they got to go out there and they try to put together deals and stuff. But guess what? Like, people don't buy from like commission breath salespeople. You know, like right now, thankfully you have money in the bank account, so you're not out there scrambling, going, dude, I'm broke as shit, man. I'm cutting deals today. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'll suck your dick for a sale, right? Like, you know. Like, at least you're not having to go through all of that process. But at the same time, you have to think, like, you have to keep yourself in a position to where, like, for me, I know my threshold. Like, if I look at my bank account and I got 6 figures sitting in one account, then I grew up so poor that to me that's an unfathomable number. It sounds crazy. But I have, like, hundreds of bank accounts, man, with like money stashed here and money going through there and this, that, and the other, to where I can never log into one account and it looks like I'm broke everywhere I fucking log. It's like, oh shit, $4,000, damn it, I gotta work today. Because that's the mental trick that I play on myself, right? Like, the rest of the stuff's out of sight, out of mind. And I know all my numbers, but again, it's not like I'm logging into one going, man, that's really good. I've got so many bank accounts that by the time I logged into all of them, I got 5 here, 10 here, 20 here, 40 here, 50 here, and this whole like assortment of different things that makes me constantly feel like I gotta keep pushing. So that being said, the struggle that you have is that you're just not wanting it bad enough, man. So you gotta turn up the need for it, and you gotta go back in there and hit them. And plus, man, you know, don't make $1 million promises to someone that ain't cracked their first $250,000. Right? Just hey man, you invest this XYZ with us, we're at least gonna give you double back, right? And then my favorite is when they give you the money objection. You always say, man, if you're scared to spend XYZ, imagine how scared you are of making XYZ. That's a big, powerful line. So, makes sense?
Yeah, man, it does. And I think you're right. You know, I get excited about what we do, right? So I have a tendency to probably talk my way out of a sale, just telling people all the cool, great shit that we can do.
Well, you believe what's possible, they believe it's impossible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I like that money line too. I mean, you're 100% correct. Until you've made $10,000, you don't know what it's like to make $10,000. But once you've done it and you realize how easy it actually is,
yeah,
it's a game changer. So that makes sense, helping them see that.
It really, and you know what, man? The crazy thing for people in our industry is they have assigned big numbers to small numbers. Right? They think 10 grand's a lot of money. Or like if someone has to invest $1,000 for one of our programs, like, oh man, that's a lot of money. It's like, dude, you said you want to be a millionaire. You want to be a millionaire and you struggle with, like, you think 1,000 is a lot of money? Imagine what you think of $1 million. We got a lot more than just sales to teach you. We got some rewiring of some, you know, some mental things that they have. So
yeah, I think that mental block is definitely probably the biggest thing that I deal with people, where they don't see it for themselves. And like you said, we know for sure 100% when people come in and do the work, they get the results. But like, people just don't, they're afraid to do the work, I think, sometimes.
Well, they're afraid to do the work and it not work out.
Yeah. Which
is funny, because they a lot of people tell themselves that story, is that's what's happened in the past. Man, I did the work and it didn't work out. It's like, you didn't do enough of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you did the work for a week. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna dig to China, I can't just try to dig for a day and be like, well, damn it, I didn't reach China. I'm gonna have to dig for a while, right? China's a long fucking ways away.
Yeah.
right? Probably gonna need something a little bigger than shovel too. Just saying, right? But these people, they set these big dig to China goals, and then when they're not there in a day, you know, it's like, oh, well, Jeff Bezos is worth $70 billion. Yeah, but dude, man, 30 years ago, that guy started an online bookstore inside of a freaking project housing unit or whatever that thing is, you know? They forget that.
Yeah, it's like that meme where you see there's the two guys, you know, they're digging away and the guy's like this close to
Yep,
the diamonds,
I know exactly
and
what
he's
you're
turning
talking
around, and then yeah, that's the thing, man. People, you just got to do the work, right? You got to keep doing it. I think consistency is probably, I know for myself, has been the biggest reason that I've had the little bit of success that I have had in any of the things I've done, is just staying consistent. But I know that's hard for people, right? Like people struggle with consistency. They get comfortable. They fall off the wagon, and we all do it. Like I know I do it. Shit, like you said, man, it's easy to be like, oh shit, I made good money last month. I can take a day or two off. I can go and do whatever.
That's the biggest trick, man. That's the biggest trick. So go back in there, man, change some lives. Now you know what you gotta do.
Let's go.
Yep.